In Hamilton, where these two teams have outdrawn the Tiger Cats through their 2003 regular season. It is the Mitchell Bowl coming up. Laval against McMaster. We expect a terrific game between the top two university teams in the country.
And really explosive teams. Both teams average over 500 yards of offense a game. Now, John, they both say they have good defenses too, so something's going to give this afternoon. Two terrific teams. Mathieu Bertrand, the quarterback for Laval. Superb. Jesse Lumsden, the great running back for Mac. What a game it's going to be.
One berth available in the Vanier Cup next weekend. It will be decided this afternoon in the Mitchell Bowl here in Hamilton.
The 2003 Mitchell Bowl on TSN is brought to you in part by Esquire. It has your name on it. By the Keg Steakhouse and Bar. For great steaks, good friends, see you tonight. And by Steel, makers of the world's #1 selling chainsaw.
This saved your butt. These are your battle scars. This was meeting a freight train. And this would drive you crazy.
The 2003 Mitchell Bowl on TSN is brought to you in part by Tissot Swiss Watches since 1853. Tissot, innovators by tradition. And by Magma Communications, www.magma.ca. Demand more, demand better. Get Magma.
Rouge are 7-1 on the season. Glenn Constantine, who was around when Laval won the Vanier Cup in 1999. Head coach then was Jacques Chapdelaine. And the McMaster Marauders, coached by Greg Marshall in his 7th season, 3-0 in the playoffs, 8-0 during the regular season. Unbeaten coming into this Mitchell Bowl, edition number 2. McMaster kicking off, and it's coming down inside the 15-yard line. Solid return for Le Rouge or Nicolas Bassillon. And Laval will begin outside their own 35-yard line, quarterbacked by a 26-year-old veteran, Mathieu Bertrand, who has had another outstanding season and fired 17 touchdowns against just 5 interceptions.
And the biggest weapon he has is Jean-Frédéric Tremblay, number 88, the wide receiver. Look for Mac to try to take him out of the game early.
And on first down, it will be another first down for Laval out across midfield.
First down.
Jean-Frédéric Tremblay, number 88, has his first catch of the day and a substantial gain.
And the pressure will be clearly on the Mac defense, as it will for Laval's defense today with these two high-powered offenses. A good front four for Mac. They've got to get some pass rush on Bertrand. If they don't, this secondary is going to have a tough time handling those Laval speedy receivers.
Bertrand can throw and he can run. And here's his second pass, almost intercepted. And they rule it no catch down there. Tristan Clovis had an opportunity, but it goes incomplete.
Good coverage by Josh Armstrong, number 4, and Mac's going to have to do that. They came on a halfback blitz. They tried to get pressure on Bertrand. I think it's a good idea. However, they didn't get close to him, and they're asking for trouble putting their DBs, which is probably the most vulnerable part of this defense. They're asking for trouble against Bertrand.
This is 2nd and 10.
Blitz again.
Laval, and there's close to a first down depending on where they spot the ball. Near the 45. And it looks like they will come up just a little bit shy of the first down.
Well, Mathieu Bertrand, 2 years in a row, he's been the Quebec Conference MVP. Those are his numbers from this year. You can see an exceptional touchdown to interception ratio. What we haven't talked a lot about is his running ability.
3rd down, less than a yard to go as Laval goes gambling on the first sequence, and that will be plenty for a first down to keep this drive moving inside McMaster territory.
And speaking of his running ability, you know, John, at 6'3", 240 pounds, head coach Glenn Constantine has another weapon in that backfield. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry this year and easily picked up that first down on the initial third down gamble of the game.
9 rushing touchdowns for Bertrand during the regular season, as Laval comes in with a 7-1 regular season record and 2 wins in the playoffs. This is the opening drive for Laval, and they have 4 running backs to get the job done. That's Nicholas Bassillon. He's the speedy one who picked up 350 yards during the regular season, but they'll rotate 4 backs through in this offense.
You know, John, I saw them play Concordia last week, and they have 4 very speedy running backs. Bassillon, there are the numbers for him, but with Plamondon, Huerte Flores, and Pierre Yo, they have 4 backs that can really all get the job done, totally interchangeable.
Gain is 2, 2nd and 8. Bertrand looks to put it up far side and well over the head of his intended target. Nice catch on the sidelines by one of the coaches for McMaster.
You know, talking to Greg Marshall, the head coach, earlier this afternoon, you know, talking about his defense, what coverages do you like to play? He said, we are truly a base cover 3 defense. Now that means strictly zone with 3 deep and 5 underneath. And you know what? If they can keep Laval in 2nd and long as they did there, they can play that kind of defense. And that time, really, Bertrand in the zone had no one to go to.
Don't hold him! Don't hold! Don't hold!
Not a great kick. McMaster picking it up and drawing a flag as Kwame Aidu was there and ready on a short kick that time by Nicholas Racine.
At your flag? At the flag? Okay, so it'll be first down here.
John Behe with a good arm is the starting quarterback. The running backs are outstanding. Lumsden and Pierre.
But if you ask Greg Marshall the strength of the offense, he says it's my offensive line. They're interchangeable, they're quick, they're fast, and they're athletic, and they do a terrific job opening holes for Jesse Lumsden and Kyle Pierre when they choose to use him as a running back as well.
First down, McMaster at the 30. This is Lumsden, right side. This guy is a stud, and he can flat out fly. 4.4 speed as a penalty goes down. Lumsden led the entire nation in rushing yards. 19 touchdowns on the season, 1,497 rushing yards.
Right here where I am now? What was it? Okay, back then.
Holding McMaster after yards are gained, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It'll be a first down. Lumsden had the necessary yardage.
Well, the Laval defense is going to have their hands full trying to stop this powerful Mac running game. They do have a good front 4, strong linebackers, secondary good man-to-man. I mean, this is a very interesting matchup, John, because, hey, Mac is powerful, but these guys on defense aren't too bad themselves.
It'll be a first down for the Marauders just across the 30-yard line. Another flag goes down, and not much running room on the left side that time. Jesse Lumsden again.
Offside white.
The indication is offside against Laval.
Offside, Laval, 5-yard penalty, first down. Well, I think they lined up in the neutral zone because it really didn't look like anybody jumped, but a nice break for Mac. 1st and 5 with their running game is always a great situation. One guy to really look for, and he's just come in the game, is 33, Christian Konsak. He's the fullback in this scheme. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. He's like having an extra guard in the backfield, and they're going to use him as a lead blocker for Jesse Lumsden today. To me, he's the key. If they can stuff Konsak, they got a chance at Lumsden.
On 1st and 5, Lumsden gets the call, and that should be enough for a first down. Lumsden averaging 9.8 yards a carry during the regular season. He had 5 touchdowns during a regular season game against the Western Mustangs, and 19 rushing touchdowns on the year, 20 in total.
Second down.
Well, you see there the 1497. John's right, almost 9 yards a carry. My goodness, those are some pretty big numbers. It'll be interesting to see how he averages out today against a defense that they quite haven't seen before.
The quarterback, John Behe, spreads it out a little this time. On second down and less than 2 yards to go. Second about 1.5 yards. And the penalty flags have been flying on this first sequence for McMaster.
Okay. Easy, boy, easy. Okay.
Greg Marshall, 7th season.
McMaster, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So it's against McMaster. And that means second down and 7. Slow opening sequence for the Marauders, who haven't made it out across the 35 but still have possession.
Fumble.
The ball is loose, and Laval says we've recovered. That's the celebration down there. Laval suggesting a recovery of the fumble. And that is in fact the case. So the first turnover of the game goes against the Marauders. Never quite had a handle on it. Philip Audette comes up with the loose ball. 1st and 10, Laval. First turnover of the game goes to Laval. Kyle Peer couldn't hang on to the exchange from the quarterback.
Well, that's the quarterback's responsibility to get it in there. You have to give fault to Behe on that one, but for McMaster, this is their first test in this game against this high-powered Laval offense.
And one of the first tests that this McMaster team has had all season. Laval liking to run the ball. Herta Flores got the call that time. We talked about the 4 running backs who rotate through there. Pierre-Luc Yao is another one. Plamondon along with Basilion.
Well, Herta Flores is probably the hottest running back they've had in their playoff run here. He's had 6 touchdowns so far and 5 TDs in 2 playoff games rather, so he's been really carrying the load.
2nd and 5, Laval. Herta Flores made the catch, but he was wrapped up immediately. Solid defensive play by John Chard, 35.
Boy, when you consider John Chard as the middle safety, he read that screen so well, came from a long way away. Not a bad call on 2nd and long against this MAC defense, but give number 35 John Chard credit. He was right there on Herta Flores. He had nowhere to go, and after the turnover, those are 2 huge defensive plays for MAC early in this first quarter.
McMaster forcing Laval into another punting situation. Nicholas Racine did not have a good first effort. It traveled less than 25 yards. This one is better. And the bounce inside the 15.
Fumble.
Lost again, and it looks like Laval has it again. Nope. McMaster will retain possession on the bobbled ball that time. Rick Andrade had a hard time handling the hot potato.
But John, when you consider for Greg Marshall's team here, now they've given up the turnover. We'll go back one more time and have a look at Rick Andre there. Ball come loose. McMaster's really got to do a better job of hanging on to these footballs when you have 2 close teams. Turnovers are key. But for Greg Marshall, hey, they've had a turnover, got the ball back, and they only gave up about 12 yards.
Andrade recovering his own fumble, so the Marauders are looking at their 2nd offensive sequence and beginning at the 20. Early motion. Lumsden has a couple. It looked like Laval might have gotten a jump.
Pretty sloppy opening to this game for both teams. Lots of penalties, couple of fumbles, and you know that I'm always concerned that nerves have taken over early for both these teams in a pressure situation because they're certainly not functioning at the level they normally do.
Well, there's lots of pressure on this, obviously, with a Vanier Cup berth on the line.
And I think pressure on Mac, too, because they've lost 3 in a row in this same situation and don't think about that.
4th straight year that McMaster has played in this particular championship.
He moved.
And you know, Laval, if they keep doing this and giving it's all key is first down production for Mac today. If they can stick with their running game, they're going to be fine. And they're 1st and 5. This is a good situation for them. Oh my goodness, left guard number 63, Dave Ford. He left early, so you know, is it lack of concentration right now? I suspect so.
63 red.
Jean-Francois Astigui.
Well, you know, when you play against a quick defensive front, you're trying to get a jump, but goodness, they have to wait for the snap count. Calm down. Now we're back to square one again, back to 1st and 10. Now, this is about the time, if I'm a head coach, I kind of get everybody together and say, look, guys, I know it's a big game, but let's calm down. I mean, we're a good football team. Let's just start playing football.
First and 10. Again. Lumsden again. His first carry was his best so far. And this is a team, Laval, that is super against the run. Number 1 defense in the nation, or at least in the conference, I should say, allowing just 86 points through the season. So this is a tough team to score on and to run against.
And you know, that was one of Mac's favorite running plays. They call it a stretch play, where they have Christian Konsak block the end man of the line of scrimmage, and then Jesse Lumsden essentially tries to get to the outside, and Laval stuffed it. So they've done their homework on film. 2nd
and long, 2nd and 8. The other side this time, and nothing doing.
Okay.
Well, Philip Audette, oh, number 9, the defensive end. They called him the quick end, and he certainly was on that play. Here you see the dilemma for Mac. They've got 2nd and long, and yet they still try to run the football. But, hey, Laval has done their homework. They've seen what the Mac's stretch play, where they try to bounce it to the outside, and they've told their defensive ends, Audette and Robitaille, you guys stick to the outside, and you're going to make life tough for Mac, and they have so far in this first quarter.
Mike Ray. For McMaster, averaging 34.1 on the season. He's inside the 10 for his first punt of the afternoon. Still no score. 7:01 to go in the opening quarter. Ray gets all of this back inside the Laval 45. And on the return, Prue.
They got the wall.
And Prue lost it.
Oh,
recovered by McMaster, bouncing right into the hands of the Marauders.
Yeah, Mike Ray, the punter.
He got it, number 20. Kicked it and recovered it. Great emotion at Ivor Wynne and Hamilton. Number 20 drops it. Number 20 picks it up. 1st and 10. McMaster coming up when we return. The Mitchell Bowl. Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Laval and McMaster. Another interesting turn of events here.
Well, Matthew Prue is hit from behind by Josh Armstrong, and the punter, Mike Ray, so alert as he was in coverage to the outside. Laval really had the wall set up on that return, but a big break for McMaster, and so far a pretty sloppy first quarter. A turnover by each team and a couple of fumbles and lots of penalties.
McMaster, a running team without question. And Pierre was the ball carrier.
Well, you know, John, this morning you and I had a great meeting with Glenn Constantine, the head coach of Laval, and he talked about some of the keys for Laval. He said, we think we have an advantage with our receivers against their secondary, but we think the huge key to this game, and there is Glenn, they've got to make Mac throw. John B., he struggled in his throwing against Laurier when they put 7-8 people up in the box, and here again, 2nd and 5, it is a passing situation.
And that's the first pass. The first one is intercepted.
Pascal Masson. Goodbye.
A 52-yard interception return. McMaster's first pass goes the other way.
Well, a passing situation. This is what Laval wanted to get Mac into. They do it. Pascal Masson absolutely reading the quarterback's eyes. 3 interceptions on the season, no bigger now than his 4th of the year, 52 yards. Laval with another turnover, and they have the early lead.
Easy, easy, okay.
7-0 for Le Rouge et Or. Quarterback John Behe. Good arm, not there. Intercepted on his first pass of the afternoon in Mitchell Bowl 2. And it was smooth sailing all the way for Pascal Masson. The interception here, and he's gone 52 yards the other way for the Laval touchdown.
It's almost like he was in the huddle, John, because he was squatting on that receiver to the outside, Chris Rankin, and Pascal Masson, he just looked from the receiver into the backfield, read the quarterback's eyes, and I mean, he broke on that football so quickly. And a big break early for the Rouge et Or. Well, you know, when they come in here, too, this is totally a pro McMaster crowd here, and this place got quiet in a hurry.
And the quarterback obviously a little distressed at that turn of events right after McMaster had recovered and was looking at an opportunity to take advantage of that turnover.
Well, now it becomes more imperative for Mac to get better production on first down. You saw a shot at Jesse Lumsden, and the pressure will be on them to do that.
This is Lumsden on the return. Still on his feet, Jesse Lumsden. Out across the 45-yard line to about the 47. Pierre-Luc Yao leading the tacklers.
You know, Greg Marshall, John talked to us about, hey, the last 3 times they've lost. They've come this far each season, had great regular seasons, but have not fared too well in past Mitchell Bowls and the UTEC Bowl. But he kind of said maybe this is our time this year.
Well, they have made it to this CIS semifinal 4 years in a row. And this is the best team that Greg Marshall has assembled. Nice play action fake. And this pass is up, and one arm is not enough to bring it in. Conrad Galoji.
Well, very interesting for head coach Greg Marshall to come right back after an interception and go to play action. He had Galoji open downfield, but the ball was just a little overthrown. And, you know, not bad as a confidence builder to try and let your quarterback throw right away. But with the incompletion, they're back in that same old boat again on 2nd and long. And this really plays into the hands of the Laval defense.
It's 2nd and 10. McMaster. Rankin flank to the near side. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Lumsden, and he stopped in his tracks. Actually, might have lost a half a yard there.
Donna, was interesting talking to Greg Marshall this morning, and he said, you know what, we're going to have to stay with our game plan. We have to be disciplined, and we have to be patient, because here on 2nd and 10, they still go back to their strength, which is the running game. Now, terrific defense by Laval with Marc-Andre Dion, the defensive tackle, number 99, making the play. But Greg Marshall said, look, if we get down by 14 or even 21, we've still got to run the ball. That's what we do best.
Here's Mike Ray, whose first punt traveled 45 yards, and he recovered the fumble on the return.
Okay, guys, don't hold, don't hold.
Another nice kick by Ray coming down at the 32. Again, it's Prue, and this time he stopped at the 25. Solid tackling upfield. 1st and 10 Laval when we return. Mitchell Bowl 2 from Iverwin and Hamilton. It's 6 degrees, a beautiful afternoon, a light breeze, and the field is in absolutely perfect condition. Terrific crowd on hand. They're talking about 17,000 here. And this is the 3rd home game for McMaster played in this ballpark. 1st and 10 Laval at the 25. And the pressure is on the McMaster defense after giving up the interception. Nice tackle by Chris Parentesis.
And he is an interchangeable linebacker, and he came and really filled the hole perfectly. Now Mac gets into the defense they like to use, the dime defense. They bring in 23, Byron Dinter. Linebacker comes out, expecting Matthew Bertrand to have to go to the air on 2nd and long.
Bertrand is not afraid to put it up. Complete far side, and they'll be a little shy of the first down. Nicholas Passion made the catch, number 24.
Well, that's great defense on 2nd and 10, forcing Bertrand to throw underneath the coverage. You have to rely on good tackling. Mac gets that from Jesse Card, and that is a good solid stand for Mac. And I suspect, John, the way the momentum and flow of this first quarter is going, Mac is going to have a very good defensive day, because so far their offense just has not been able to get on track at all.
Chris Rankin ready to return for McMaster. Nicholas Racine struggled with his first punt in particular, standing back inside Laval's 20. Low snap. Racine won't get it away. Well, he did get it away, but he didn't kick it. An ineligible receiver, I'm absolutely sure of making the catch. Well, maybe not, depending on it, but it's going to be McMaster ball. Anyway,
poor
77.
Poor snap to Nicholas Racine right there, and he's got no chance. He just throws it up. 97, Jean-Philippe Abraham made the catch, but it's going to be the turnover. Mac gets a huge break to get them back into this game, trailing by 7.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly a heads-up play by the kicker. Here is the opportunity that McMaster has been waiting for. Jesse Lumsden stopped by the initial pressure, breaks to the outside, and has a couple, and that's all. Philip Gauthier making the stop on Lumsden, who was expecting this kind of an afternoon from a defense that sets up as solidly as this one.
And you know, they tried to run against the 2 tackles of Laval, and those are Lumsden's numbers so far, not near the 9 yards he averaged throughout the regular season. But Alexandre Jacob, 39, and 99, Marc-Andre Dion, the 2 defensive tackles, they really do a great job of plugging up the middle. And of course, they've got speed covering on the outside.
This is 2nd and 8, McMaster. Completes, but not enough for a first down. Behe hooking up with Conrad Glogy.
So it's decision time. They're awfully close to a first down. Looks like they might be just a little bit short, but a confidence builder for Behe. He was able to complete a ball, and they get it close to first down. I mean, when you get a turnover like this in another team's territory, you truly want to take advantage and put some points on the board.
McMaster electing to go for the field goal. Timeout on the field with Marc-Andre Dion being tended to down near the 20-yard line.
The one beauty for McMaster is, though, Mike Ray is a terrific field goal kicker. He's a good punter too, and but 23 of 33 on the season. But I watched him in the warm-up and was really impressed. Now, hey, warm-up is one thing, game's a different thing. You know that, John. But this guy's got a good leg, strong leg. However, I believe that they're going to go gambling in this situation. I don't blame them.
3rd down. It's a long yard necessary for a first down for McMaster. And we'll see where they spot the ball. It looks like they have the necessary yardage from the indication down there from the official. It will be a first down, McMaster.
You know, John, I think that was a good call. People will say, well, you know, quarterback sneak, it's not much of a play. But you know what? When you send Jesse Lumsden and Christian Konsak one way and the quarterback goes the other, especially with such a great running game, I think that's a pretty smart play.
Well, I think it is too, because I would be pretty sure that Laval would be keying on Lumsden in a situation like that.
Absolutely.
Behe had some decent rushing yardage through the season. McMaster first down. Now it's Lumsden's turn.
Okay.
And there were 4 Laval players waiting for Lumsden as he crossed the line of scrimmage.
But there you see number 99, Marc-Andre Dion. And number 97, which is Jean-Philippe Abraham from his linebacker spot. But 99, Dion, is the most tenacious player on this team. He plays hard every single play. He's 270 pounds. He can push the pocket and pass rush. And if Mac thinks they're going to pick on this guy today, I think they're going to have to reevaluate that, because they've been trying to pound that middle with no success at all.
Fear and Lumsden, the running backs, on second down. Second and long. It opens up momentarily and closes rather quickly for the McMaster quarterback. Matthew Prue was there to wrap up John Behe. So now the field goal unit heads out this time for real, with Laval leading 7-0.
You know, we asked Greg Marshall about Laval's secondary and asked for his evaluation of that group, and Marshall said they have a great secondary. They can play one-on-one, they can play zone, and they are all fast. And that time, Behe had nowhere to go.
Here's Mike Ray. Squarely through, and McMaster gets on the board with 17 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Mike Ray has the field goal, and it's 7-3 Laval in the Mitchell Bowl. Mike Ray with a 21-yard field goal, and it's 7-3 Laval leading McMaster. First down for LaRouge. And this is their big guy receiver, Jean-Frédéric Tremblay. Tremblay with 999 all-purpose yards in the season, 54 receptions, 853 yards, and he was number 2 in the nation for those 54 catches.
We are on the hunt for the loudest fans in the stands this afternoon.
At the final play of the opening quarter. First and 10 Laval when the second quarter begins. Two high-powered offenses, as Leaf pointed out to me seconds ago. Not much to show for the opening quarter in yards or anything there.
Well, you know, you and I discussed it. What's going to give in a game like this when you've got terrific offensive teams and both teams think they have great defenses? So it's very interesting to see how this game will unfold. But in the first quarter, neither offense really got into any kind of flow. And maybe that's because the defense has stepped up.
First and 10, and that one was almost picked off. A very similar situation than the one we saw in the opening quarter with Pascal Masson taking it all the way.
Manny Furtado, we call him Nelly for obvious reasons. He stepped in, read the play perfectly from his outside linebacking spot, and got in front of Romeo, and he could have had a pretty easy touchdown had he been able to hang on to that football. Both defenses anticipating so well here in this first half.
And that's what we've seen, a defensive struggle so far. Second and 10 Laval. Bertrand hit as he throws over the middle, and no chance for the catch.
What a series for Furtado. Almost has the interception, and that time came on the blitz and hit Bertrand just as he was getting ready to throw. McMaster on second and long, not afraid to bring extra people on the blitz. Pottinger, the middle linebacker, up the middle, should have been caught by Plamondon. No, excuse me, Bassion. I'll get him all right. But there you see Furtado. What a terrific play from the outside. And as a left-handed quarterback, Bertrand did not see him coming from his right-hand side.
So Racine is in again. McMaster hanging in against Laval with very little offense shown by the Marauders so far. Rankin is deep, and Racine has struggled as the kicker for the Le Rouge et Or.
Well, he needs to get a better snap from his center.
Number 25 called it.
And his first punt traveled just 20 yards, and that was not the center's fault.
Eric Poirier, number 89, comes in as the long snapper. The last time he put it in the ground, there he is, Poirier. And boy, oh boy, your heart must be pounding the next time you come in and you know you got to fire a strike back to your kicker. Don't think McMack won't put somebody right on the nose to give him an extra shot here, too.
Easy! Let him go!
Racine had time. It's not that deep. Taken on the run, but nowhere to go for Andrade. Rick Andrade stumbled out of bounds after a 25-yard punt. So Racine with a 20-yarder to start, followed up by a difficult time on the exchange and a 25-yard punt here. And there's an injured Marauder down. Andrade.
Well, give Andrade credit. He did what I love to see returners do, is come up and not let that ball bounce. Don't give that kicker any cheap yardage. And although he injured himself on the play, tough to see exactly what happened. He just kind of tripped.
Oh, he landed on the ball. That's what happened.
Well, there you go.
It's the Mitchell Bowl from Iverwin in Hamilton on a perfect Saturday afternoon.
Andrade, a third-year running back for McMaster, doesn't get a whole lot of playing time because he's behind Jesse Lumsden, and Lumsden, of course, third best all-time rushing yardage this year. But Andrade, John, I think you mentioned he just kind of fell on that football.
He's a Hamilton native, and we'll expect to see him back before this afternoon is over. He's still being tended to. Rick Andrade still being helped out by the medical staff. He did well to hang on to the ball, control it, and he rolled out of bounds there, landed on it, and that would apparently be what was his problem. He's up now. First and 10. Marauders wide open. Nice catch. Conrad Glogy. Nope, couldn't hang on.
Looked like he had it.
I thought he had it. He spun around, and I guess it would have been a nice catch if he'd held on.
Tell you what I like, though. I like the offensive suggestion on first down here with play action. It looked, you're right, John. It looked like he caught it initially, but the official had a great angle at it. But you know what? You're a running team. Everybody on defense is thinking run. Play action's not a bad thing, but you've got to complete some balls because now you're in the bad situation again, a second and long, but I like the call.
Marauders looking at second and 10 and looking to put it up again. No such opportunity for Behe here. Francis Boivin coming through, number 92. And he had the McMaster quarterback wrapped up.
And he's the leading tackler, the middle linebacker. Watch in the middle of your screen, 92. He's going to take an outside pursuit through a gap. And really the key was Philippe Odette from the outside, the rush end. He stayed so wide that Behe had nowhere to go. He sent him back inside to his buddy, the middle linebacker, Francis Boivin. And a very tough stand by Laval. Well, John, we heard about offense. I'm impressed with both defenses.
Kicking game is being won by the Marauders so far this afternoon with Mike Ray.
Don't hold him.
Barely getting that one away, but still he gets some distance on it and a bit of a roll. Flag down back in the vicinity of the Marauder kicker as Pierre Anicelio comes up with the ball.
Well, it was funny. Mike Ray, the punter, just kind of baited the rushers because he looked like he was so casual about getting that ball off that the Laval rushers just kept coming. Watch Mike Ray here. He just really kind of slows it down a little bit, and
he barely got it away, but then he goes down.
Well, I tell you, I take another look at this because if this is roughing, I'm your uncle, John.
Didn't they try to? Oh no, it's acting is what it is. You give the kid an Oscar.
That's
is what
terrible.
you give him. Ray went down, and I thought a Laval player was actually trying to hold him up so that there wouldn't be a penalty call.
Good man.
It'll be first down, Laval. Rougear beginning this drive outside the 45, but just on the ground. And the running game has not been used extensively. Nicholas Basselion, number 24 that time.
Yeah, and Jason Pottinger, the middle linebacker, there you see him, number 51, really slashed through beautifully to make the play. And his head coach, Greg Marshall, said he is going to be the next best linebacker in CIS play. You know, they lost a couple of pretty good linebackers last year, Ray Moise to the Argos and Mike Botterhill, who's with the Alouettes at the Grey Cup. They replaced him with Pottinger, and he's terrific.
This is second down. Wide open. No catch. Philip Plamondon was wide open and couldn't bring that one in. He's an all-conference all-star. All-purpose yards, 851 on the season. 346 yards on 24 receptions, but this one eluded him.
And he's the best receiver out of the backfield that Laval has, and he should have had it. Had he been able to make the catch, there was no one near him. He would have scored, but he just could not make the play. Mack has dodged a few bullets here in this first half.
Marauders definitely hanging in. Racine deep to kick it for Laval, and looking for a little extra protection here on third down. Charges on, and that's his best kick of the day. Racine puts it down inside the 15. Rankin rolled out after a 45-yard punt, about a 7-yard return. First and 10, McMaster in the Mitchell Bowl when we return. Congratulations once more to the St. Mary's Huskies, back in the Vanier Cup next Saturday at Skydome. St. Mary's, two-time Vanier Cup champions, looking to make it 3 in a row. And they'll meet either the Marauders or Le Rouge et Or from Laval University. First down. McMaster. This drive begins at the 20. Kyle Peer, the fullback from Belleville, Ontario, in his third year of studying geography at McMaster.
Well, Kyle Peer averaging 7.1 yards a carry on the season. Lumsden at almost 9 yards a carry, but things have not been too rosy here in the first half for these two running backs, as Laval has done a terrific job at stuffing the run.
Strength of the Laval defense, many believe, is against the run. McMaster looking to put it up and high, intended for Jesse Lumsden.
Well, John, one of the things that Greg Marshall talked about today was, he said, look, we obviously have to run the ball to be successful, but if we have to go to our passing game, he said, John Behe, quite frankly, struggled last week against Laurier when we had to throw the football, when they forced us to throw. Now, there you see the passing yards so far in this game. They are struggling in that department. We asked him, would you hesitate to put in freshman Adam Archibald, who is a much better thrower, even though he's a younger player? And Marshall said, I wouldn't hesitate. So we'll see if that maybe develops throughout this game, if in fact Mack has to throw the ball to have a chance to win.
Mike Ray.
Okay, guys, don't hold
on third down. Nice kick.
Easy.
Coming down at the 50.
Okay, it's over. It's over.
Yanisello gets inside McMaster territory with a 10-yard return after a 37-yard punt. And here comes the all-conference quarterback, most outstanding player nominee in the Quebec Conference again, unanimous all-conference all-star. One more time, Matthew Bertrand, who's 26 years old and in his final year of eligibility.
I would hope so at 26.
This drive begins for Laval inside McMaster territory at the 50. Play action fake, well executed, wide open receiver far side. It's the #1 target, J. Frederick Tremblay.
McMaster ball, Josh Armstrong. The ball popped loose. Josh Armstrong was right there to make the play.
And Glenn Constantine is not happy about the turn of events with a flag down as well.
Well, he kind of jumped out onto the field to argue the call, but Tremblay with a great catch on the bootleg. But the ball definitely popped loose. Josh Armstrong was there with the recovery.
McMaster taking advantage of a couple of opportunities here, but they haven't been able to move the ball.
Well, a beautiful, nicely executed play action pass, but watch this ball come loose right here.
15-yard penalty, first down.
And tack onto the turnover a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness. So McMaster on this turnover gets an added break. And the ball will be scrimmaged at the 45-yard line. First down, Marauders. And this is Archibald. They talked about his arm. He's got a gun. Missed his target that time. J.P. Lonche was back covering on the Archibald pass.
Well, we just talked about it, John. Would we see Adam Archibald? And it didn't take long. And obviously McMaster now has decided that they're going to have to bring in the better thrower of the two quarterbacks, even though he's in his first year. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. You saw his numbers on the year, limited playing time, and does not have a touchdown pass to his credit. But John B., he early could not generate some offense, and I don't think this is a bad move at this stage. Let's see what the young fella can do.
The kid is 6'5" in his first season of CIS football, and he's complete to Rankin. Chris Rankin was the target on the longer pass.
Yeah, and McMaster needs to get some momentum going. They have to take advantage of the turnover they just received by the recovery of Josh Armstrong. And you know, if Archibald can get a little momentum going, he can get his team right back. They're in a funk right now. They're not playing very well, but that's the kind of play that can turn the momentum around in this game early, even though it's only 7-3. Mack seems to get out of it, and a nice completion by Archibald on his first series.
Adam Archibald is out of Kingston, Ontario. And you'll see what that has done to open things up. This is Pierre. This is a touchdown, Marauders. Out at the 1-yard line marked. He was there and he slowed down. There's a penalty flag down back near the 40. 46 yards. And Pierre looked to slow down, and he was caught from behind.
One of the, distinct rules in intercollegiate football is linemen cannot block downfield. They can only block at the point of attack, and I'm just wondering if one of the offensive linemen didn't get downfield, because I see Dave Ford arguing, but as a lineman, you cannot go downfield blocking.
Holding McMaster after yards are gained, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they get the first down. And the rest of it will go for naught. Lumsden actually gets out in front and tries to throw a block here.
Well, he throws a great block at the end. You'll see Lumsden come right there, and he cuts back and just gets enough to allow Pierre to the outside.
And then Pierre slows down, and he's caught there. But all of that went for naught on a holding call well back.
But it was after yards gained for a first down, so they still, in fact, pick up the first down.
This is Archibald. The guy really does have an arm. That's intercepted.
White ball.
Jean-Philippe Lantier comes up with the interception.
Well, that was a pretty nifty play by Lantier, because as the corner, he was in coverage against Von Swart to the outside. He leaves his man and then helps to the inside. You don't teach those kind of instincts to defensive backs. They just have an understanding of receivers and pass coverage. He left his man, made the interception. That was pretty darn good. Looking for Matt Bloggy downfield. Conrad Bloggy make that.
So the interception has Laval set up inside the 2-yard line with a first down. Still an opportunity for McMaster to make something out of this. Substantial yardage, however, for Herte Flores on that carry. He won't have a first down, but he's more than halfway there with about an 8-yard gain, maybe 9. Laval leading McMaster 7-3. Big play defensively for the Marauders on 2nd and 1.
And it was Pottinger, the middle linebacker, that got the initial penetration into the backfield to disrupt the play. He didn't make the final tackle. Looked like Andrew Jones and Colin Shanahan were there.
Robert Shaw also helping out. Number 55, Jeff Robert Shaw. But the big play made by Jason Pottinger.
Wow, that's a huge play, John, because 2nd and 1 there, you just assumed that they would pick up a first down. Now you force a punting situation, and punting
hasn't been a strong suit.
Has not been a strong suit. You're right. And, you know, if I'm McMaster right now, John, you know you're going to get good field position regardless. I come full tilt after Nicholas Racine right here. There you see the average pretty anemic on the day, but I come after him full tilt right here.
One punt, he didn't even get away.
Here they come.
Well, he's going to give up the points.
That's probably a smart idea.
So add a couple more for McMaster on a couple of miscues by Laval, and it's 7-5 in the Mitchell Bowl. McMaster Marauders have moved down the street to Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. This is the 3rd playoff game that they've had here. And this is the best crowd of the season in this stadium to watch Marauder football. Mack hanging in against Laval. And after the safety touch, the kickoff. Room to the near side. That's Lumsden. Jesse Lumsden has a nice return after bobbling it 27 yards to set McMaster up near the 50. So with that return, super field position for McMaster. And here is the freshman quarterback who has turned it around a little bit just in the way things are feeling for McMaster. Adam Archibald, a 6'5" product of Kingston, Ontario. And he gives McMaster the threats of a passing game. Lumsden. And Laval had 4 players waiting for Jesse Lumsden, who scored 20 touchdowns on the season, 19 rushing touchdowns and 1 on a return. And when you add that all up, 120 points.
Yeah, normally you might think of kickers leading the scoring, but with the phenomenal year that Jesse Lumsden had, he kind of breaks the mold there.
Kickers lead the scoring parade on most football teams. Lumsden a little below his average on the season against this solid Laval defense. Archibald missing Peer. Kyle Peer was the intended receiver on a little swing pass. So quickly it's a kicking situation for the Marauders.
You know, Laval, both defenses have a lot of speed out here today and a lot of savvy, because number 20 Matthew Prue, he read that screen so well, so quickly, that Archibald really had no place to go with it. Well, I'll tell you, we heard a lot about offense, John, but I am impressed with these defenses so far in this first half.
Both sides of the ball, 6-12 till halftime. Laval leading 7-5. And deep for Le Rouge are Yannick Brissett.
Let him go.
Mike Ray.
Easy, easy, easy.
Nowhere to run. Wrapped up in a hurry. Pierre Inicello by Nick Burns, number 42. Hey, Claude, how are things down there?
All right, John, we're on the Laval sideline with Marc-Andre Dion. You guys have done a great job of stopping Jesse Lumsden. Was that the game plan coming in?
Oh, well, it's a pretty good running back, so we had to really work hard to stop him. I think he's a he's a great athlete, and he's really fast, so we got to run as fast as him to get him, and we've done that since the beginning of the game. So I think we match their speed, and we can play these guys. And I think we're on a great run to win this game.
All right, thank you.
Biggest run of the afternoon for Laval. Herté Flores has 21 yards.
Nice trap block by the offensive line. You'll see the guard come, the offside tackle comes through. Ostegui, and a great block opening a hole for Herté Flores. And of course, Laval is about a 60 pass 40 run team, but when they decide to run, they can be very effective, as they were on that play.
Laval out across the 45 at the 46-yard line, first down after the big gain. Herté Flores again, and he has midfield very close to another first down. Jeff Robertshaw from Mount Hope, Ontario, making the tackle.
And I believe he fumbled again, and the slot back Jean-Francois Romeo was able to make the recovery. But Herté Flores, who's been hot in the playoffs, 8.9 average per rush in the playoffs, 5 touchdowns, not all bad.
In a couple of playoff games for Laval, McMaster has played 3 in the playoffs to get here. This is 2nd and 1 Laval. And the first down is made easily to keep this drive rolling. Herté Flores again, number 4.
And I think what Mathieu Bertrand, their fine quarterback, would love to do at this stage of the game, and I'm sure his coach Glenn Constantine would agree, let's string together some first downs, try to capture some momentum. We haven't really had it in the first half. We're not used to not having it. And this running game all of a sudden has come alive, and it's going to set up play action should he choose to use it. But he needs some first downs to get momentum on his side.
Bertrand has time. He has a wide open target. It'll be a huge first down for Laval. Jean-Frédéric Tremblay, who led the team all season long with 54 catches, 853 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
And of course, that was number 2 in the CIS this year, 4 receptions. They put him inside as a slot back that time, and he finds the open spot. They know McMaster loves to play zone. These receivers are excellent at reading that, finding and sitting down in the holes. They're a pretty mature group of receivers, and Tremblay with a good catch.
Another big play. And a timeout called after a 31-yard gain, 21 yards on a previous run for Herté Flores. And then Bertrand hooks up with Tremblay there for 31 more.
Well, it's taken a while. It's taken almost halfway through the second quarter, but finally Bertrand has come up with something that's working. They went to the trap. Trap is good against a good aggressive front 4, and it worked to Flores, and he's found Tremblay in a different spot for a reception, so they're getting it together. My, oh my. You know, we got a 7-5 ball game with those kind of points scored between these two teams, and you know, game bases, that's pretty awesome. 58 a game for Laval. Goodness.
Laval inside the Marauder 20-yard line with a first down after the huge 31-yard completion from Bertrand to Tremblay. Laval threatening to get to the end zone for the second time. Herté Flores gets the call again, broke 1 tackle, and he's better than halfway to a first down.
Well, John, at 5'11", 200 pounds, he's got that low center of gravity, and when he runs lateral to the line of scrimmage and then decides he's going to cut up, he sticks his head down, and that 200 pounds translates into some real hard power when he comes up through the line of scrimmage.
Actually, this will be 2nd and 5. Laval leading 7-5. Bertrand looks to the end zone, has a target, has a touchdown. Tremblay has the catch for the touchdown. 7 during the regular season, and Tremblay adds to Laval's lead.
Boy, and Laval got the matchup they wanted. Matchups are created through formations. And with Tremblay now moving in to the slot as essentially the number 3 receivers, they got the matchup on the linebacker. Tristan Clovis, number 24, is expected to run with Tremblay, second best in the country. You saw Clovis, there's no way he can stay with him, and a pretty easy touchdown. Nice recognition for Bertrand, but when he saw that matchup on the line of scrimmage, Bertrand knew where he was going all the way.
Racine has his second convert of the afternoon, and Laval has a 14-3 lead on the hometown McMaster Marauders in the Mitchell Bowl. Big plays, the keynote of an impressive drive by Laval for the second touchdown of the afternoon and a 14-5 lead.
Well, it was all set up by the formation, John. When you get your best receiver in at the third man in and you get that kind of matchup on a linebacker, they're going to win at least 9 times out of 10 or maybe 10 out of 10.
This is Brandon Little fumbling the ball. And who has it this time? It looks like Laval. Philippe Audet's coming up with a loose ball. Coughed up by the Marauders on the return. Brandon Little fumbling there. Had a pretty nice return going.
Well, Brandon Little had some room to the outside, but he stripped right there. Philip Audet, as you mentioned, John, with the recovery. Now, it's going to be interesting. You know, both these teams have had unbelievable years. McMaster has yet to lose a game, and, of course, it's only happened to Laval once against Concordia, John. So I always kind of wonder, when teams really face adversity for the first time during the season, how are they going to react to it? And truly, McMaster right now has played a sloppy first half. They've got a field goal and a safety for 5 points. There you see Philip Audet with the recovery, but how will they react to this? Greg Marshall and his group there you see on the sidelines, John Pottinger, the middle linebacker, they've got to somehow find a way to fight through this, which they haven't experienced yet.
And the Marauders on defense have come up with a couple of stands to set it up for the offense. Unfortunately, the turnovers have been real costly for McMaster so far today.
And McMaster's defense has been on the field a lot of this first half, and you know, these are young guys and they're in fabulous shape. But you know what? You can't wear your defense out, and the first time Laval put a decent drive together resulted in a touchdown.
Jean-Frédéric Tremblay on the receiving end of 2 catches on the drive, including the one for the touchdown on the toss from Mathieu Bertrand.
You know, it's interesting how quarterbacks react. You see Bertrand right there. I mean, he's got a 14-5 lead. He just had a nice drive put together for a touchdown. Now he's got the turnover. Boy, if you got the killer instinct, you try to go for one right away. I put Tremblay back in the slot, same formation, and I see if I can't make something happen right off the bat here.
Injured player for Laval is Danny Jacques, who is up and headed to the sideline now.
You know, as they break the huddle, you keep your eyes on number 88. And that is Jean-Frédéric Tremblay, who just caught the touchdown. See where they put him. He's out at wide receiver. There he is. I go to him right away, although he's going to see some double coverage now.
Out to the near side, Tremblay. Bertrand looking in another direction. Almost picked off and caught.
He caught it
by Laval, tipped right into his hands. Jean-Francois Romeo comes up with the catch. Good concentration by Romeo there. The coverage was good by McMaster.
Brandon Little was there, but I like the call by Bertrand. He got the turnover. Things are going his way. Why not go downtown? And boy, oh boy, Little was in great position, but give Romeo credit to concentrate and make that catch. It's all about big plays, and Laval's making them right now.
A 37-yard improvement on field position for Laval as a result.
Yes.
Little might well have batted that down upon second view. But of course, you don't get that opportunity. So here's Laval set up to score back-to-back touchdowns. 1st and goal to go at the Marauders 3. Perte Flores turns the corner, and McMaster's left side was waiting for him.
Great flow to the football by the McMaster Marauders. 77 is Mike Gow, the defensive end. He just strung that play out. He's quick, he's strong, he's 6'1", 250. He's one of their leaders, and he made a heck of a play. And I'll tell you, the pressure mounts for this McMaster defense. Look at Gal fight to the outside, 77. Come up with the tackle. That's outstanding.
2nd and goal to go. Laval at the 2. Nice fake. The quarterback has the ball. He won't get there either.
Oh, and it's Mike Gow again. They go to the bootleg play action. Gow was not fooled. What a huge defensive play that was by Gow.
Nice fake here by Bertram.
But look at Gow at the top of your screen, 77. He reads it right away. Huerta Flores, there's no way he's going to block him. That is terrific.
Yeah, except Gow was the only Marauder who saw it.
Well, he
did make the play, however.
They only needed one, but
they needed the tackle.
I like the call here by Glenn Constantine. He says, let's try to bury them early.
3rd down and goal to go. There's the touchdown. And buried they are, at least for the time being. Pierre-Luc Yao has the touchdown from 3 yards out. So Laval back-to-back touchdowns despite 2 solid defensive plays by Mike Gow at the 3-yard line.
Huge hole here. First time that Pierre-Luc Yao has touched the football this afternoon, and he makes the most of it with a 1-yard touchdown. I love the call by their head coach, Glenn Constantine. McMaster has not moved the ball offensively. If you turn over it there, it's 109 yards the other way. Great call. They capitalize. The turnover once again on the fumble on the kickoff. And Laval takes advantage, and all of a sudden now, which was an extremely close game, is nicely in control for Laval Rouge et Or.
Pierre-Luc Yao, 8 touchdowns through the regular season.
Well, interesting, excuse me, John, they had an interception by Pascal Masson early in the game for a touchdown, turnover for a touchdown. Now the fumble recovery by Philippe Odette results in a touchdown by Yao, and all of a sudden Laval has really capitalized on a very sloppy McMaster Marauder team in this first half.
.207 till halftime. It's 21-5. Laval leading McMaster. Still time for McMaster to add points to the total and feel a little better at halftime. This is a long way back for McMaster as it stands right now.
Well, you make a key point, though, John. I mean, they need something good going into the locker room, and there's certainly plenty of time for Greg Marshall's team, but are they up to the challenge?
It's Rankin having a difficult time with it, and it goes through for a single point. Rankin had a difficult time judging the ball, and so one more for Laval. Goes up 22-5. Claude.
Well, guys, adding injury to insult in this case, Jesse Lumsden, who hasn't been able to do much offensively in the first half, was hurt on the Mac last attempt at a kickoff return. He hurt his left elbow. He's been sitting in the player's dugout area, and he has not moved. It's a elbow injury. He'll sit out at least a half. He's got ice on it now, and they'll see if he can play in the second half, guys.
Well, that's a crucial problem for McMaster. Lumsden has been the story of the Marauders offense all season long. We talked about the 20 touchdowns, over 1,400 rushing yards. This is Pierre breaking one tackle, and the big fullback for McMaster is out near midfield. Kyle Pierre stopped by Remy Nadeau.
And that's a step in the right direction. 2 minutes remaining here in this first half. A nice hole up front. Look to the left side of your screen. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. That's what you're going to have to do. Francois Boivin, the middle linebacker, did not make the play, but Mac really desperately needs to answer with some points.
1st and 10. Marauders at their own 53. Less than 2 minutes till halftime. Positive yardage for Pierre again. Not quite as substantial as his last carry. Rick Andrade into the game with Lumsden on the sideline.
Well, certain passing situation for the young quarterback Adam Archibald, and You know, as he works this clock now, 1:30 odd remaining, he's got to get the ball a little farther downfield, obviously, on 2nd and long. Let's see what he can do.
2nd and 7. He eludes the first pressure and has a strike inside the 40. Adam Archibald in relief of the starting quarterback, John Behe.
Von Swart, their leading receiver on the season, an all-star.
That's his first catch.
First catch, and it's a big one to the outside. He stops the clock, and a huge pickup on the blitz by Rick Andrade made that play go.
And he paid the price. Swart has a first down. Nice play action fake by Archibald, and he's got Swart again. Von Swart gets 2 in a row. And the Marauders really need to hit the end zone here with plenty of time to go.
Wow.
That for 33 yards.
What a great call. They go on the play action, one-on-one to the outside with Swart against Pascal Masson. It's a post corner. He takes 3 steps hard to the post, breaks back to the outside, totally beating the defensive back Masson. Huge play by Swart. He's an all-star. He's the go-to receiver in this receiving corps, and he's made back-to-back big plays, but give Archibald credit. He delivered it right on the money.
1st and goal to go. Marauders at the 8, trailing by a bunch. Pierre has a couple of yards, likely 3. He's inside the 5. Kyle Pierre.
What do you say?
Hey, Pigskin Pete's here today. He's changed his allegiance. Of course, at 1-16, if I'm Pigskin Pete, I like to cheer for teams that haven't lost a game.
Well, he's backing a winner for the first time. 6th play of this drive for the Marauders, who have struggled in the opening half, but have an opportunity to finish positively here.
Now, this is interesting. They still stay with their full house backfield.
2nd and goal.
Oh.
Archibald hit, fumbled, got it back.
Okay. It's okay.
Matthew Prue came in from the backside. You're going to get this when you stay full house in a passing situation, and the backside is never protected. He comes on the halfback blitz, drills Archibald in the back. I really don't like the formation. Not a bad call, but really, I'm telling you, you get down in a passing situation on the goal line, you've got to send your pass offense in there. I don't think that was a great call.
Archibald was lucky to get it back. Lumsden on the sideline for the Marauders. 37 seconds to go. And McMaster settles for a field goal. Mike Ray good on another one, but that's all that the McMaster Marauders have been able to achieve this afternoon. 2 field goals and the safety touch. It's 21-7.
And it's funny how a good team can take you out of your rhythm. You know, during the regular season, when McMaster gets it down to the goal line like that, they can always go to that full house backfield, 3 backs in there and pound away, and I'll bet you 9 times out of 10 they scored. But against a tough defense like Laval today, they took Mac right out of their rhythm there, took away their bread and butter, and Mac couldn't answer with a pass play.
Let me correct that score. 22-8. McMaster with the 2 field goals. And then the safety and 3 touchdowns and a single for Laval. Herté Flores carrying again. And a penalty marker is down with 27 seconds to go till halftime. McMaster Marauders coming in after 11 straight victories. Laval having a sensational season as well, but there was 1 blemish on that. 7-1 regular season. And then 2 wins in the playoffs to get here to the Mitchell Bowl.
It's funny, John, when you look at Laval's defense, in 2 games against Concordia, 1 win, 1 loss, they gave up 38 and 24 points respectively. In other 8 games, they've given up 9 points or less. So, I mean, their track record is we're pretty stingy, and they've sure shown that in the first half here.
Nowhere to run, loose ball. McMaster has it with 19 seconds to go.
Mike Gow, number 77's had a great first half for McMaster. He's Johnny on the spot. 18 seconds, time for at least 3 plays. What a huge break for McMaster here. Boy, they just keep stringing Bessillon to the outside, and number 24 for Mac is Tristan Clovis, the linebacker. He knocks the ball loose, and there's Mike Gow.
24, Clovis forced the fumble. From 24, Bessillon. First down.
It's funny.
McMaster.
Sorry, John. In the warm-up from this distance, Mike Ray was kicking them through, but the wind has changed a little bit since about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago when he warmed up. So I think McMaster will have to make at least 1 first down to put him in reasonable field goal range.
Turnover sets McMaster up just inside the 40-yard line. There's an injured Laval player heading to the sidelines now. And into the final 18 seconds of the Mitchell Bowl first half.
Well, so far to the top of your screen goes number 88, Von Swart, and he's been the real pass threat that Mac has had.
And they discovered him late in the opening half. It opens up. Archibald has a completion. It's Rankin making the catch.
Good job. It took 7 seconds.
Not bad when you consider where they ended up. Enough to move the chains for a first down, and definitely in range for Mike Ray here now.
Without question. So now what you do, 11 seconds, Greg Marshall's got to quickly call into his quarterback, Archibald. They've taken a timeout, which is a smart thing to do right here. They've got Archibald on the sidelines, and really what the philosophy will be is, hey, you're at the 22-yard line. You got to take 1 shot at the end zone because, you know, 29-yard field goal is not certainly well within Mike Ray's range, but you got time to take 1 shot for the big touchdown and then certainly settle for a field goal if you have to.
Archibald get on 5 of 7, closing in on 100 yards. The 1 interception was down deep in Laval territory.
And it's been a great move by Greg Marshall to replace the starter John Behe, because clearly McMaster's going to have to throw and complete some passes to win this game, and it was the right move to bring Adam Archibald in.
What's interesting about Archibald, he's in his first year, a freshman who has played some this season because of the success the Marauders have had. So he's not exactly raw out there.
They got 1-1 with Von Stewart if they want it.
Archibald, far side, and Swart has the catch. Rather Rankin, I should say, number 26.
Well, again, you
5
know,
seconds.
The only reason why you throw that kind of a pass play is if you're confident with 5 seconds to go, you can still run 2 plays. He's going to take a timeout.
I'm not so sure.
See,
5 seconds is enough here.
This is where you really, as a coach, have to manage the clock, because I think, as I said, from the 22-yard line, you take a shot at the end zone, and unless you're so confident that you got a couple more plays.
Well, you have to come away with points.
Absolutely.
If you're McMaster here and now, trailing 22-8. So the first play was 7 seconds. The second play took 6. And now with 5 on the clock, pretty tough to manage the clock from here and get 1 chance at the end zone and then the opportunity for 3 if that doesn't work.
But, you know, John, I mean, let's look at this honestly. I mean, McMaster is not a freewheeling kind of offense anyway. They're a great team. They're undefeated, but they're not a freewheeling offense, so maybe this is the way they have to play. They have to just chip away and settle for a field goal in this situation.
And that's what they will do. And Mike Ray has a perfect afternoon going. He's 3 for 3. And in spite of the fact that McMaster didn't get to the end zone, a positive conclusion to the opening half for McMaster when you think about a couple of field goals.
Well, what it does is cutting this lead in half to 22-11. It allows them to still stay within their game plan. I mean, they haven't been able to run. They're going to regroup at halftime, probably try to make some adjustments against the Laval defense to get the running game going. But clearly, only an 11-point deficit lets them stay in a comfort zone with the game plan they began with.
Two seconds on the clock. Laval will ground it, and that will be the first half. A couple of late field goals for McMaster to get a little bit closer to Laval, so there's a long way to go in this one. 11 points is not enough to feel real comfortable, particularly when you look at the way McMaster finished the opening half. Let's go down to Claude.
All right, John, thanks very much. Glenn, you see your team give up a late field goal like that, but I imagine you have to be pretty happy the way your defense has played, especially shutting down Jesse Lumsden.
Our defense is playing good football. We need to hang on to the ball. We can't fumble like this. Too many mistakes. It's going to cost you in big games. Our kids are playing well. Our offense is starting to roll. We're pretty happy. We got a couple of things to tune up, and things will go good.
And just talk about what Matthew Bertrand has been able to do. He's been able to move the ball.
He's a leader out there. I think we just need to play within our limits. Sometimes we try to do a bit too much, but he's doing outstanding. He's moving the ball, and we just got to catch it and hold on to it.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Guys.
Interesting first half for the two top teams going into this game. It's the Mitchell Bowl, and on the line, the final berth in next Saturday's Vanier Cup.